Welcome to the Panda Podcast, where passion meets purpose, no matter the field. Here, we sit down with creators, athletes, entrepreneurs, musicians, doctors, and dream chasers of all kinds to dive deep into what drives them, the challenges they've faced, and the mindset it takes to keep going. Because whether you're dropping into a half pipe, building a business, creating art, or grinding through med school, the journey may look different, but the lessons, the struggles, and the drive, they're the same. This podcast is about persistence, discipline, and turning passion into reality. Real stories, real passion, real grit. So if you're chasing something bigger than yourself, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. This is the Panda Podcast.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is a Missing Panda, another Panda Podcast. We got Evan Allhall here, great motocross rider, a great buddy of mine, and we're gonna do a little tattoo confessional type deal going on while we do this podcast. We're gonna be doing tattoos and just talking shop and all the great things that this guy's been doing. As you heard, he was telling us some fun stories. But yeah, we're gonna have some ink therapy. All right, let's get it in. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's been the riding for the most part. Oh, fucking some more BMX. Like a month ago, I went down to Murrieta with the wild donkey, and he fucking ran me over, dude.
He ran you over?
Yeah, so we were trying to film. Like, he has like this little like custom thing for a chest mount to his iPhone.
Yeah.
And so you get it all fucking set up right. And we both think that he's fucking recording. So we drop in and we go into these set of jumps. And they're like 6 foot tall takeoff with like a 10 foot tall landing and a 10 foot like gap between the takeoff and the landing. They're just like big but fun. They're not, like they're just tall.
Yeah.
They're not challenging. They're just like, they look scary because of how tall they are.
Yeah.
So I'm making my way through the pack, and the wild donkey's behind me, supposed to be filming. And I crashed, dude. I loop out and I like slide on my butt down the landing of the third jump.
Yeah.
And so I'm like backpedaling and like trying to get up off my butt. And here comes fucking donkey, and he's just heading straight for me, dude.
Oh, shit.
Just straight right, like looking me dead in the eyes, straight for me, right?
Yeah.
And so he fucking like ghost rides his bike into my fucking arms and goes running and like sliding off the other way.
Yeah.
But his bike was going so fast and it had so much momentum from him just being on it that it still fucking ran me over. Like, I like totally got fucking taken out. So we go back to the truck and like take a breather, fucking fix the handlebars and shit, just like drinking some water.
Yeah.
And we go back out there, and on the same fucking jump, dude, this time donkey isn't following me, thankfully.
Yeah.
Because I fucking crashed again, but this time I leaped out and I slid on my knees instead of on my butt.
Okay.
And it fucking ripped open my right knee because it was like directly on the kneecap.
Oh, no.
Yeah, dude. And so I had like a huge fucking road rash, on the whole top of my kneecap was gone.
Okay.
And that was fucking gruesome. Like, because I did that Saturday evening, and then Monday morning, I had showed up at work and my fucking knees all swollen and shit, but I still like handled it, I still killed it at work.
Yeah. Got it, bro.
So it was no worries, but it was just like funny, that fucking donkey's crazy ass runs me over, and then literally the next run, after like fucking shaking off him running me over, like I'm like trying to get back out there, I fucking eat shit again. So I tear my top of my kneecap off, and I go up to the rolling, and I'm just like, all right, I've had enough. Like, I'm done. I'll just film and shit, like I'll just film you guys. And Donkey's like, nah, fuck that. Like, there's something bad in the air. Like, you never crash, dude, like I'm not riding no more. You crossed twice in a row, like back to back. Like I'm over it too.
Yeah.
So we just like called it for the day and fucking went back to the house and like dicked around or whatever, But yeah, that's been it for riding lately. And I've been busy, with fucking everything else moving and fucking the old man kicking the bucket and just everything.
Yeah. How you been holding up with that?
I think good.
Yeah.
I think as good as I can, I think that I'm doing a good job, but I don't know.
I mean, you be holding it down for the family and everything like that. It's very admirable, dude.
Yeah, I haven't taken any constructive criticism over it yet. Like I haven't, taken a misstep anywhere. So at least that someone's been fucking courageous enough to admit,
Yeah. I mean, it's like being humble and being able to admit that stuff to you, and being able to talk about it is. But it's healthy, dude. I mean, I feel like you've expressed and been able to talk about that stuff and show vulnerability,
Right.
and that's why it's been healthy and why it's been a healthy experience, dude, and why you feel like you've been handling it well,
Yeah.
because it's like when you just like bottle it up and try to ignore it and everything like that. I think that's when things kind of go south, and by you being able to talk about it and look at your support group and all your homies, and comfortably say like, hey, like this is how I'm feeling, or this is what I'm going through, like by having that, like that's why I feel like you're good, dude, like in the best way that you can be, and even saying like I'm not good, or like I'm doing the best that I can, like that's where it's at,
Yeah, that's my take on it. That's why I say to everybody that asks like how you holding up, I say I'm just doing as best I humanly think that I can, and I'm just taking my best fucking swing at this shit.
Yeah, that's all we can do, like we don't have to have everything perfect, but just constantly trying to do the best that we can, and that's why I applaud you, dude, and I'm thankful that you're able to speak on it. It's because you're a solid dude and you're doing great as a dad, and still able to hold down and live life, live life to the fullest that you can,
Right.
handling all your responsibilities, still on the bike, dude, still passionate about what you do,
Right.
still and going to work and handling a job and everything like that, and yeah, dude, still.
I know, it's a circus, bro. It's a circus trying to juggle all this shit. As a kid, I always, like we would bullshit and I'd be like, oh, it's hard to keep up with everything, like riding this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, now I'm doing like 80 things. Like, I wish I could go back to being a kid, like the Panda house, like we were just like riding, doing photo shoots, pumping shirts. Like, man, I was alive, bro. We lived the dream.
Bro, the Panda house, dude. Tell us about your experience with a missing panda, where that started you, and your vision of like how that it, like, I guess, helped you and everything like that. Your version of it, I guess.
Forgive me, dude, but I can't. I want to say it was fucking Andy Kissinger.
Okay.
You remember Andy?
Yeah, good old Andy, bro.
Fucking A, dude. I think Andy, I was hanging out with him a lot, and he was like, we're going to Mike Real's house. And I was like, that's a dope man. Who's this guy? Like, for real. That was my first thought.
Yeah.
And then we go, like, Old Town, downtown Redlands. I'm like, what? This guy's got a sick pad. Like, all right. So I'm just feeling it out. And I met you. I'm like, I don't know what the business we had there, but Andy was there for something. I don't know. Anyway, we fucking, yeah, we met and, kept coming back to the house and riding. And I think one of the first few times I come there, you had showed me the screen printing press.
Yeah.
And I remember that clearly, dude. We were out there in the shop that was all tagged. Like, everyone, like, did their piece of art.
The tag barn, bro.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like shitty. Like there was artwork in there. Like,
Yeah.
Honest.
Yep.
So fucking, we're back there, and you're like going through the motions of the screen printer, and I like fell in love with that shit. Like it was just so rad to me.
Yeah.
I had never seen it done before, and like you were doing the full process from making your own screen to printing like ink on shirts and everything. So I fell in love with it. I was just so intrigued by the process and everything, and yeah, I started fucking helping printing shirts and staying, more often than not, and eventually fucking Will showed up with Ninja and just like, dude, Ben, I think I introduced you to Ben because he's looking for somewhere to live and you wanted to rent out that other room. Yeah. So my experience there overall, it was memorable to say the least, but it was great. Like we built lifelong friendships out of that house. We learned lifelong lessons out of that house. Dude, like it's so memorable. It's one of those things that like you had to be there.
Yeah.
Because it was just so like it was something new every day, like
Absolutely.
so you had to be there for it, kind of deal. But I think we all learned a lot from being there, especially looking back on it, like hindsight. There's a lot of lesson to be learned from that spot. We had endless good times. Like another thing, speaking of Andy, him and I at your house, you had it was like a party, dude, for the company and everything. It was just a huge party. You were tattooing people in the like early afternoon, and like we were like decorating that balloon, like everything, the whole night.
The launch party?
Yeah. And Andy and I split a gallon of Fireball throughout the night. And I was about right. Andy finally, I don't know how, but he caught up with me, through the mix of the party.
Yeah.
He looked me dead in the eyes, and the only thing that he could fucking say was that I can't drive, and then he fell over. All right. He fell over with his keys in his hand, so I fucking get the keys out of his hand. I pick him up. He runs outside, like lawn darts, like basically almost onto his head, like falls into the fence.
Oh, man.
And throwing up. So I finally get him to stop puking, and I fucking get in his red Chevy, the little 1500 that he had at the time, and fucking back down that skinny little driveway, the rock, the dirt
Gravel driveway?
Yeah, fucking back down, all hammered. And I get on center, dude, and there's there's 3 double yellows, so there's 6 yellow lines in the road.
Yeah.
Because of like how hammered I am.
Yeah.
And I tell Andy that, and he's just aim for the middle one. And he's like leaning out the window, like dry heaving and puking, and so he's like, fuck it, just aim for the middle one. And I don't know how, but we made it back to Andy's, and fucking parked the truck, got inside. I didn't wake up till like 2 the next afternoon. We ended up turning back up to the house probably around like 4 again, early afternoon.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And it was like a zombie apocalypse, bro. It was like fucking everyone was still like super fucking
Recovery?
yeah, like not even in recovery mode. Yeah, like still trying to figure their life out. Like,
Well, I think some people were still awake from
that night. Yeah, the night before. Yeah, so the launch party was insane. That was a super memorable night. Like, yeah, Andy and I split a gallon of Fireball, and dude, like I said, you just had to be there. It's like what the Jackass dudes say all the time. Like, you really had to be there, to like experience it. But to give someone, a perspective, it was memorable, to say the very least. It was memorable. It was great.
That's awesome, man. What do you say got you into motocross and dirt biking and everything like that?
What started it all? Fuck. Just a deep interest in it as a kid, like a generational thing too, because my uncles from, my dad's side of the family, my grandpa's brothers, some of them rode motocross.
Okay.
And so it's just been a thing, family, a generational thing for like 4 generations.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one of the family, though, that didn't race. because my uncle and dad and all of their uncles, they all raced. And so I took the freestyle route, but it was just a generational thing. I think it's in my blood. And yeah, just at my first early memories on a pedal bicycle was wanting to jump. You know, I've always wanted to fucking catch air.
Yeah.
And so that's where I can say that it started, was like, for sure, just like wanted to catch air. I found out how to do, I don't remember specifically that, like the first jump, but I do remember that feeling. I remember the feeling and being like, oh, this is it. Like, this is, I really like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where it all started for me, was generational for sure. And just for the freestyle aspect of it, though, I just love to jump since I could fucking remember, man. I love to just catch air. And then eventually, you know, like watching old motocross videos and everything else, just growing up in the perfect like time for it, I got to watch like the tricks and their evolution, like their extreme, you know, fast evolution through the 2000s. And so it was just like fucking encapsulating to me, dude. I'll never forget being a kid and just like sucked into the TV, you know, like I could watch the same motocross movie a million times and not be bored of it. So I just like, fuck, I've always had the bug, I guess. Like, fuck, I don't know.
Who were you say were some of, like, I guess your idols?
Shit. As a kid, for sure, some of the racers like Jeremy McGrath and Jeff Emig, even Pastrana. Fuck Pastrana, you know, Travis Pastrana is an awesome dude, and he raced forever before anything.
Yeah.
And then those were like the old motocross movies where they'd ride in like the sand dunes with the freestyle guys too, you know. And
Yeah.
all the old freestyle guys, they're cool, but the ones that I idol the most is Twitch and Scummy, and they were like 2000 to 2007 was like Twitch and Scummy as a pair in like the height of their fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
And that's who I looked up to the most. I was born in 97, so 07 I was 10.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like just about to be a teenager and super impressionable, and those were the two that I looked up to. Like, I want to be like Twitch and Scum, you know, like that was my like. And that's crazy too. That's such a small fucking circle, like crazy world. Like, you actually know Colby and fucking got to hang out with him and meet him before everything, you know, before he blew up as he is today. He came over with Ninja and shit to the Panda house too.
Yep.
But Colby introduced me to Scummy, and it was just like surreal to me. And then a few days later, we're fucking going riding with him and shit, you know. So that's like the beginning of the pro freestyle. So I'll back that up. But I looked up to those guys probably the most, you know, through my childhood of like riding and stuff. Yeah, the Twits and Scummy days were like my fucking top.
Yeah, dude, you started to progress like a lot, dude, and hanging out with them, and that was dope, dude. Like,
Yeah.
have you seen Scout Sense?
Not recently. No, I haven't. But to like, so we don't fucking mix it all up. The riding goes like, yeah, from bicycles as a kid, you know, from like 5. And then my parents split the cost of a Honda 50, an XR50, I think, for my 6th birthday, that Christmas, the December before my birthday.
Yeah.
And dude, even on that thing, I remember like they wanted me to enter into the races and stuff, and I just wanted to go like that long ago in Mentone Beach there was a little like off-road and like riding spot, and I just wanted to go there because it was like down the street from the house and there were jumps.
Yeah.
You know, so like even the first dirt bike experience on the 50, I was already really good on a bicycle, and so fucking it just, you know, like translated right over. It made sense, it was easy, it was fun, and yeah, I just jump. And then as a teenager, I just like, progressed through bikes growing up and riding through the hills and stuff. And every now and again, I go with my uncle to the track and enter into the race and have a great time. It was fun, but I just never wanted to fully commit to that discipline of like working out and eating this certain kind of meal every fucking day and, blah, 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 blah. I just wanted to have fun and ride my dirt bike. And so that's what I pursued the freestyle was like, it was just everything pointed to it. Wanting to jump, not, wanting the discipline, just everything was like, I'm perfect for freestyle. So that's what I did. And just rode in the hills. And fuck, I think I met Colby. One of the first times I met Colby was at the Panda House alongside with you.
Yep.
Ninja brought him over, and dude, we just fucking hit it off. We were good, like we started to become friends real quick and riding a lot together and shit. And you're right, dude. I did get good really quick riding with Colby. He's an amazing fucking talented rider, and so we were living in Redlands with Rick, actually with fucking Crazy Toothless Ricky Maglio.
Yeah.
He lived up the street from me from the Panda House, remember?
Yeah.
And Colby and I rented a room from him, dude. So we lived on the block actually for a little while, and we rode the hills as much as humanly possible. And one day Colby caught wind that they were going to do a high-air quarter pipe competition for dirt bikes at X Games. And he's really good at doing it on a BMX bike. And so he took it upon himself to message Larry Linkogel from the Meta Militia and said, I'm going to win gold at X Games. Like, he had this big talk, right? Colby had this big talk, and Larry said, put your money where your mouth is. And that's the only thing he replied to him.
Yeah.
So fucking Colby went down there, and a few days later, I went back down there with Colby. And before you knew it, we were living in the Rock House, and I was working part-time on the winery, and that's where the riding really unfolded. By then, I was on a 2004 CR250, a Honda Two-Stroke.
Yeah.
And working part-time on the winery and riding as much as possible, man. And Colby was training for X Games and, doing what he had to do. And we just rode a bunch and met up with a bunch of dudes that were really good at riding. And so it just almost like came with the crowd, like birds of a feather saying. Like I just started hanging with that crowd and learn the skills and listen to their technique, like listen to what they had to say.
Yeah.
And I got good, dude. I got real good. And then shit got funny with the Honda. I got rid of it. I got on a YZ. And by this time, Colby had won a couple of X Games and we had moved out of the Rock House and stuff. And I was living in Beaumont with Ben.
Yeah.
And I had just gotten on the YZ. And we're riding out there with some buddies. And I'm still like, built up some pretty good skills with living and riding with Colby and all those boys for a few years. And I run into the wild fucking donkey boy is what all of us know him as.
Yeah.
In Beaumont one day. And he's this crazy fucking character, man. You guys everyone that's listening or watching or whatever, and you two, especially Mike, you got to meet this cat. He's one of a kind, So fucking, I meet the wild donkey, and I'm looking for somewhere that's, somewhere to live that's a little more suitable for riding other than Ben's. It just wasn't the best situation, Nothing against Ben or anything against living there, nothing like that. It just wasn't convenient to ride,
Yeah.
So I moved in with the wild fucking donkey, and he lives in Paris, more centrally located to like all the big ride spots down in Temecula, the militia compound, and all that stuff. So I moved in there on the YZ, and me and Doc start riding every single day, and we just do little like odd jobs around the house for his parents, and turn some money to ride,
Yeah.
And his dad was really helpful because I had a big talk now that I had a little bit more skill, a handful of tricks or something. I told the the wild donkey's dad, I'm going to go professional and make money at this. And he said, all right, well, I'll help you as best as I can, until you start making your own money and stuff. So he gave me like a sponsorship, really.
That's sick.
And, yeah, I lived at the house, and like I said, I did everything. We would do repairs on the home itself, all the housekeeping and whatever small odd-end job that the old man had for us. And so that's what kept us, riding. And, riding every day, and started riding demo shows. Got enough tricks built up and stuff that I started riding demos at that point, and eventually finally started earning money. Some more sponsorships that come around. Got sponsored by LBZ, the gear company, local boys. And that was a super fun experience. They treated me so well. Mike Russell treated me well through it all. So I was thankful for that. The donkey and I started riding every day, man. And I got even that much better. Riding every day really, really does something to you.
Yeah.
So, things got a little rocky. Maybe Donkey one day will be on one of these shows and we'll tell the whole story or something. But I moved out of there, and I moved in with my wife, my now wife, and I picked up a little job too, to pay bills and stuff and support my own riding at that time and whatever else.
Yeah.
And another friend at the time, Hunter, I was keeping my bike at his house, and him and I were meeting up as much as I humanly possibly could. I'd go meet up with him down at his house, and we'd go to Militia, and I'd ride my heart out. And one day, some of the kids that hang around and ride bikes and stuff, and just whatever, the younger kids, they built a setup to where you could ride a bicycle into the foam pit.
Oh, that's sick.
And so I was like, yeah, fuck it. Just really kidding. I was like, I'm going to start like flipping, just like fucking around.
Yeah.
So I went up there on a borrowed bike, like one of the kids, give me that thing. So I fucking went up there, and I landed on my head, not even trying, just like talking shit. So I fucking ran back up the roll-in, and I actually pulled, and I almost came all the way around on just a regular pedal bike on a 20-inch.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll be damned. And so I fucking got a filing under my ass because I was already, like at a top point of riding freestyle on dirt bikes. I was like, fuck, I need to learn, how to flip anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I fucking got really comfortable on doing it on a 20-inch, landed it through the dirt on a 20-inch, and went straight to work on a dirt bike. And at Militia, I would just show up to Hunter's house. We go down to Militia and just hit the foam pit as much as we could. And I started out at first on a 45-foot super kicker.
Yeah.
So that's like twice the steepness. It's almost like oververt at the top.
Yeah.
So it really kicks you. It almost like throws you into a flip without trying. So I started on that. Probably did, because there were sporadic days, like 3 weeks, 2 weeks on the 45-foot super kicker. And one day I just had this like urge, I just had this wild hair to fucking send it. And so I started test runs at the 75-foot, just like standard setups at the foam pit.
Yeah.
And again, heeding all the words from the old pros, all the guys that I once looked up to that I was now riding with, they always said, don't just jump straight into the pit, like commit to a flip, even your first go. Like, you've been riding 75 for so long now, you should have been riding for so long now, that the speed and like how hard to hit the ramp.
Yeah.
So like, don't just dead sailor and just jump straight and like just land. Like, that's like a car accident. It feels like getting like rear-ended, Yeah. They're like, pull for a flip. Like, even if you don't even like, you just do an air wheelie, like you just land on the back tire, at least like you're committing to something and like not just going straight.
Yeah.
So I did, and the first one fucking came around because I had already done so many on the 45 that I knew, and I actually even told myself like to not pull and like to sit it out and like wait for it to come around and shit because that's at a longer distance. And I kid you not, I have the video of it, man. The first fucking one, I could have landed it to the dirt. So I did another 3 weeks, sporadic days, to 75 feet into the foam pit, flipping. And one afternoon, we were all at Jimmy Fitzpatrick's, another militia rider. He has his own compound in Temecula, too. And we were at Fitz's place one day, and it was a big day for a couple of us guys that use the foam pit and stuff. And actually, shout out to Vinny Carbone too, because he taught me how to ride freestyle in the first place in Ritchie Canyon. Like when I was riding, Colby and I were riding in Ritchie, Vinny taught us a lot.
Yeah.
So Vinny and I and a couple others were learning to flip, and Jimmy comes down. He was doing something, and he comes down ready to ride with all of us, and he sees my flip.
Yeah.
And he's watching because we're all taking turns, So he sees my flip again, and he comes running down to the foam pit, and he's throwing up his hands. He's like, "What the fuck's the matter with you?" And it was like, it threw me off, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I pissed him off. Like, "What's up?" I was like, "What do you mean? What's wrong, Jim?" And he was like, "You're wasting my power, Bill, because I'm dragging your ass out of the foam, right?
Yeah.
And your energy too, because you're fighting to get your dumb ass out of the foam pit." So
The sun did run.
yeah, he was like, "I'll be right back." And he fucking puts the task to dragging me in the bike to someone else out, and he goes and gets like a hockey suit. It's like a padded like a torso, like a padded torso.
Yeah.
And he's all, "I'll give you 3 more to the pit to get used to that fucking gear I just gave you." And he's all, "After that, you're going to the dirt. I'm not doing this with you." I was like, "Oh, I guess today's the day, So fucking, yeah, I did my 3 to the pit, and fucking, I did a couple test jumps. I did, a couple more flips to the pit just to make sure I had the pole right.
Yeah.
And I went down the runway, and I just felt it, I fucking knew, dude. I just could feel it.
Yeah.
So I pulled, and it came around fucking grease, dude. That's our term, like when you fucking do something smooth, it's greasy. So I greased it first fucking flip, man, and a whole new book opened after that.
Yeah.
Cause after that day, I'd done a couple flips and like did the whole celebration thing. Fucking everyone was stoked, and then we went back to riding. I did some more flips after like getting my mind right and settling down. And Jimmy, Fitzpatrick, the place that we're at, he comes up to me at the end of the day. He said, "How'd you like start riding demo shows?"
That's sick.
And that's when the big Fitz Army demo shows really started happening for me, and getting paid and everything, after I finally started to flip.
Yeah.
And that went on for about 1.5 years. And then December of 2019, I over-rotated a flip at a demo show in Needles. And that led to a brain injury.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, that led to not like something super crazy, but it was a brain injury. Brain injury is fucking gnarly as it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, it led to a brain injury, and I had sponsorship obligation to fulfill. So 4 months later, April of 2020, I was trying to debut a custom LBZ jersey, and I had a big demo show, actually at someone's like private property. There was a practice place for us, and big day. All the friends are there. LBZ, got a big booth set up, debuting my jersey, custom made jersey, and dude, fucking, I'm going down the runway because it had been 4 months since the last crash, and I had ridden,
Yeah.
So I'm taking test runs at the ramp and just like jumping the side of the landing ramp, like just warming up, getting loose. And so I get serious, and I'm taking like real serious runs at the ramp. And actually Vinny was right there. Vinny Carbone was standing right there at the time too. And he gives me the nod, like, "Yeah, that was the speed. Like that would have done it." So I turn around, and I'm at the beginning of the runway, and I'm committed, like I'm going to go this time. So my bike bogs at the very beginning of the runway and headed towards the ramp. And I'm like, "Oh, screw it. I'm so committed. I just knew that I could make up for it at the bottom of the ramp."
Yeah.
Well, when I went to make up for it at the bottom of the ramp, my bike bogged down again. And which led for me to come up short. And I ate shit again real bad. I dislocated my left shoulder, busted my chin wide open, and another brain injury because my brain hasn't healed all the way from the previous brain injury, you know?
Yeah.
So I got a PET scan that time at the emergency room. They put me out to get my shoulder back because it was so far out.
Damn.
They had to put me under. So yeah, long story short, this frail old man comes in, he's fucking 10 years past retirement. And he says, I took a good look at that PET scan. I seen a lot of them in my day. And he says, you can't get in a car accident or hit your head a certain way hard enough within the next lineal year without risking being a vegetable. And so I just knew, you know, that was like my fucking you're done. Like that was my cutoff point. So I took a hiatus for 5 years, man, and just worked and rewired my brain. I think I'm still, you know, I'm willing to admit that I'm still learning, but I definitely transformed from a fucking knucklehead little boy to a man, you know, in those 5 years of that hiatus. Which is good. It feels good to say that. It feels like that I can say that. I've earned it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, now I'm going to be back different, but for the best. You know, I'm still the same old fucking goofy Evan with a smile and laugh, but it's just on another like perspective for me, you know? It's not just about partying and laughing and riding and having fun. I got other responsibilities that come far before those, you know? And yeah, I'm stoked that in that 5-year hiatus I learned how to manage those far more important responsibilities in a manner to where I can ride. And in a fashion as to where if I do get hurt, I'm covered. You know, I have a little bit of a plan now. You know, I like when I was a kid, dude, I didn't have medical insurance. I didn't have a job. Like I didn't, you know, I was just fucking riding. Like it's real stupid to do things like that. So, like I said, it's just a different perspective now, and I'm really happy to be back and just like take baby steps at it. For sure, not going to be flipping anymore. It's just too much of a risk to the reward. Like it. Don't get me wrong. For those who don't know, because you do like snowboarding, you know, flipping is like skydiving. You know, like landing a flip is like doing your first skydive. It's indescribable.
Love it.
Other than, you know, like that's the best I could describe it to somebody that's never done it, and hopefully they've you know, skydived before. It's like skydiving for your first time when you land a backflip, and so like it's an exhilarating, addictive high, but like I said, it's too much of a risk to reward for me, you know, for the shoes that I walk in. So I'm cool with not flipping and just having fun with my buddies and riding jumps and going to the tracks with my uncle and like our longtime, you know, friends that I grew up and was raised around, you know, and so I'm cool with what my riding looks like today.
Yeah. That's good, dude. I think you hit it, saying that emphasizing aspect. It's like you've reached that point where you know that you like can handle your responsibilities and everything like that, and
Right.
and that's the age of becoming a man, is when you know you have priorities, and you really you're there to provide and give. You can still handle. I think what makes a wholesome man is saying, I can still have my fun, I can still do all this stuff, but I know where my priorities lie, you know, like, and bro, like the humbling aspect, dude. I went snowboarding recently, right?
Yep.
And I had that awakening moment where I was like, I was hitting shit, and it wasn't the same, dude. I wasn't hitting the 100-footers. I wasn't,
Right.
bro. I wasn't throwing the big flips anymore. I wasn't. but I was okay. I wasn't like, I wasn't sad. Like, I wasn't like, fuck, man, like, I can't do what I'm used to. But, like, I was okay with it because, like, I was like, you know what? I've been there before. Like, I've already done that. Like, I'm cool. Like,
Right.
I'm glad that I'm glad I'm still gonna ride, and I'm content with that. Like, because, like, yeah, reality is I already did it. Like, and I ain't got nothing to prove to anybody. I don't need to be doing it for anybody else but just my riding. Yeah, I'm comfortable where I'm at. Like, it's still fun. Like, dude, just being cruising along, and I'm still gonna hit some bigger stuff. I'm still gonna fly, and I'm still gonna do some dope tree lines. Like, but yeah, I don't need to take the risk of doing a rodeo 5 anymore. And like,
Dude, you and I are like, I fucking am in full agreement, you know? And like now, even like my boss and I talk about it. Like, I want to get into the riding of like super elongated, like stretched out tricks, like a huge tabletop and holding it. Or like, okay, for you in snowboarding, we could, you know, and for everybody else, a huge method or a stale fish. And you're just fucking holding it,
bro.
It seems for like 10 seconds,
Dude,
right?
and just
and then you land smooth as butter.
Yeah, you're just
grease it. You grease it, right? Is what we say.
yeah.
So fucking
The steez, bro.
dude, I think that is way more of an appreciated riding, especially in my older age, than getting all this gnarly flippity dippity fucking, you know, all this crazy shit, dude. I feel the same way.
I was telling somebody, I was having that conversation. I was like, because somebody, you know, I was talking about when I was competing, and I was more into the border cross. So I was doing the racing.
Right.
I looked at it because I didn't start competing till later in my age because I didn't get on a board till I was 21. So like I didn't get sponsored till I was like 23, which is late in the game, dude.
Right.
But dude, the thing is what you have to do in slope style just to be even considered a name doesn't seem entertaining, bro. Like to do as many flips as you have to do.
Or wait, what's
1440s, bro?
I was just getting
1440s, dog.
What's the spin number, right?
Like
what's the spin like right now?
360s?
Is that
still like it's
Okay,
stupid? Though. Like how many? You're like,
Yeah, okay, that's what we talk about. It looks like you're having a you're not riding anymore. You're just like having a seizure in the air,
like and hoping that you
and then getting lucky. Right, I was just getting ready to say that. Right. So like, dude, I'm like taking it back to like fundamental. Dude, I feel like alive about it. You
like,
know?
bro,
Like,
props, you did that, dog.
yeah, gradually was I get back to like, dude, okay, same thing for us. Like, you want to win.
Cool. Like I'm cool with just like you're saying that steez that
You want to win best trick X Games for freestyle motocross, you have to do a backflip, and while upside down, you have to do a body varial around the bike.
what?
Yeah, we can pull up some footage, you know. Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm not a fucking acrobat. I could barely flip.
Yeah.
I could barely flip as it was, not fucking do this crazy fucking spin maneuver after being upside. It was insane, right?
Yeah.
So I knew then too. This was at like the height of my riding too. I was just like, I'm just gonna be a demo guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to go compete at X Games. I have no business fucking doing it. I don't even know what the fucking name of the, you know?
Yeah.
I don't even know what they call this fucking shit.
Yeah.
So I had no business in doing that. And like we just talked about, I'm in full agreement with it, man. I'm just taking it back to organic. Like, I want that late 90s, like, huge glamorous jumps and fucking, like, big sand dunes and shit and, like, huge whips. And all the original tricks that, like, we all grew up idolizing.
Yeah.
In perfection. Like I said, like a huge stalefish.
Yeah.
And it looks like you're holding it for 10. I know it's a 3-second lit, but it's like 10 fucking. Yeah. Right. You're just like, right.
And bro, it's still epic. Like
Mhm.
that's still epic, dude. It's so epic to hold that. It's such control.
I think-
discipline.
I
dude.
think
like
that riding goes more appreciative in a broader spectrum.
yeah, dude.
Because someone that's new to this sport is going to be like, wow, look, that was a fucking big, awesome trick and blah, blah, blah. And then the guys that do the 1440s are going to be like, damn, I missed it. And look how fat that was, you know? Like, everybody can, the whole spectrum. Yeah. The whole spectrum can appreciate that organic fucking riding, dude. And that's what I'm after. Like, I'm just going to do what I've always done, just BMX and moto. I'm gonna learn how to surf this summer,
Oh, sick.
and so I'm just gonna, just fucking cruise, dude, just ride and just be organic with it. I would love to like capture it on like video, pictures, whatever. Just document it, somehow or another. I would love to do that on like big days, like big good organic riding days, dude. That's what that's what I'm after.
Well, we're definitely gonna keep an eye out for it, and we're gonna watch progress, dude. Cause your writing's always been dope, dude. I'll definitely capture it too.
Yeah.
Get the drone going and everything like that.
Yeah, I hate tooting my own horn, but speaking of that, dude, fucking the guy JBI, who does all of our suspension, he made a comment on my last post, and he was, the of us all riding the other weekend, and he was like, dude, it's just always like he's seen me ride a handful of times, and it's just like he said it on the comment, like it's just natural talent, like it's just raw natural talent. Like I'm super thankful to be good at that too, dude. Like I love being good at riding dirt bikes. I love that shit.
Well, bro, that's all I'm saying. Like, there's a passion. There's a passion behind it that drives you, and
Right.
and that's the concept. Is like, you don't need to be always in the pursuit of being flashy.
Yeah, I do not need to be the top guy. Like,
Like you don't need to be, like you're saying, X Games best trick. Like, no, just being the best version of you, bro. Like,
yeah,
what is the what are you passionate about being in your space? It's like that's all that ultimately matters. Like, what are you passionate about? Like, some people are so caught up in like what they think it needs to be and what is presumably the best of the best. No. Like, stop and think. Like, what is making you happy? Like, that's what it's really good. Because in the longevity term, that's what's gonna keep you happy longer.
dude. Yeah, and to
And, like,
comment on that, just to like go back a little bit, the height of my like riding freestyle and like getting money in demo shows and all that shit, I eventually turned it into a job, dude. I turned it into like a work, like, oh yeah, sponsors, we need to show up and take this picture and ride for this amount of time and like all this shit. And I sucked the fun right out of it. Like trying to be on the top, like in my little world of like riding demos and like doing that whole thing. I was like trying to be, the top guy at doing that shit. And yeah, I turned it totally into like a program fucking wasn't fun anymore for anybody, for anybody in the experience.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, if that's your jam, cool. Like, nobody hate on it, but in the end, like, make this life your thing. Like, what are you about? Like, like, that's my message is make this life yours, because it's going to be what makes you happy ultimately.
Right.
And by being the best version of you, you're going to pass that to everybody around you. Like, being the best version of you is going to
bring out the best in others.
Exactly, bro. Like, everybody's going to see it, and they're going to feel that energy, and then they're going to want to be the best version of themselves.
Right. Yeah.
So like it'll trickle down into your family, dude. And like, if you're always happy, bro, if you just had a great ride and you're not putting all this pressure on yourself and you just want to have a great ride, when you get home, bro, then your family's going to feel it, dog. And then they're going to be happy because you're happy, bro.
Right.
Then they're going to want to learn from you because like your advice is going to make sense, because they're going to be like, well, I mean, this fool's happy.
Yeah, look at his smile.
Yeah, like, so I'm going to listen to what he has to say, because like,
right.
I mean, he's doing something right. Like, and it just keeps going, dude. And always being the best version of yourself. But like, that's all we can ask in life. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm on the drive for, is like showing people like it's okay to be the best version of you. Like, that's all we're asking for in this life.
Yep. I totally agree with that too, dude. And there's nothing I would say different, and to add to it, it's just like what you said, just like trying to be a good man. What I've learned is to be honest with yourself first and foremost, and the others around you that are close, like your household.
Yeah.
And people that are extremely close to your immediate family and stuff. You have to be honest with yourself first, and then honest with the ones that are the closest around you. And it just, that is like the first fundamental building block for, in my opinion. I'm no doctor. I didn't go to school or whatever, but
But talking from experience, bro, that's the best
Yeah.
doctor. That's the best advice.
yeah, fundamentally for me, that was like my thing. That was like my big transition, was being honest with myself, and then being honest with everybody like really close to me. And that like really was the building block, like the first like huge fundamental for me. And then that just easily translates into, if you're going to be honest with yourself that deeply and everyone around you, then being accountable and sticking to your word. That you were, that you're so honest about, is the next nearest thing to me. Like I said, it's just me, but is the next nearest thing, man, is that you have to be accountable and stand in what you say. So if you say something and want to go back on it, then you might not want to say, you have to really be wise about what you say. And another huge one that's all relative to that is patience, but not tolerance, is another huge one that I learned.
Yeah.
Be patient with the learning and the young, and with situations, but don't be foolish and decipher distinct tolerance and patience, because you shouldn't tolerate bullshit. But you should be patient. So for me, it was hard to differentiate being patient and being tolerable.
Yeah.
And so that's another one that you have to really define the two for you, whatever that definition looks like for you, and then distinguish, am I tolerating this, or am I just having to be patient in the time, and it's going to change for the better, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the example I could use for that is, how I look at it is, you just gotta fucking be patient for sure, but you gotta know when you're just tolerating bullshit and fucking not do that,
Be able to.
because that just slows you down and fucking weighs your mood down, and it's just a downward thing. If you're tolerating bullshit, it's just bullshit. It's bullshit. So those are like my three huge things: is fucking to be extremely honest, to be extremely accountable, and to distinguish those two things of patience and fucking tolerance. Because I assume that a lot of people fucking struggle with that. With that one being a huge one of tolerance and patience. A lot of people tolerate bullshit that they don't have to.
Yeah.
And they're not patient for the things that they should.
Yeah.
Because they're tolerating a bunch of bullshit.
Yep.
So they can't have any patience. They don't have any left, right?
Yep.
So that is like those are like my three fucking main things that I've been preaching and practicing.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the final one. And that's a saying that we've all fucking known for decades or eon, whatever you want to say, centuries, fucking practice what you preach. And so I do practice those three. I fucking do practice. And so I can fucking preach those. And I think that is like my, like I said, the building blocks, like the my understanding of the fundamentals, I think, that's what I think.
That's good, man. I'm glad that you understand those fundamentals and are able to pass those along. They're absolutely essential, dude. Like,
Yeah.
having patience and knowing when to set boundaries,
Dude, that was
absolutely
so fucking huge for me, bro.
it's good, dude.
Setting like certain boundaries, that's what I'm saying. I'm speaking from experience, like setting certain boundaries and not tolerating bullshit and not being brought down to a certain level. I fucking excelled like a NASA rocket ship, dude. Like,
Yeah.
for reals, I just fucking like just blew up, with knowledge and patience, to where I could gain knowledge, because I wasn't tolerating bullshit, I was fucking able to obtain knowledge now and shit. So I think that, is probably the biggest one for me, is to fucking distinguish those two, and don't, whoever you are, man, woman, whatever you think you may be or anything in between, don't fucking tolerate bullshit. You know? That's
Everyone's all, hey, don't take shit from nobody, bro.
but that's what I'm saying. You have to distinguish fucking your patience, because there are people that you in your life that you have to be fucking patient with.
Oh yeah.
You know? There's people that you have to fucking practice your patience with,
Absolutely.
and there's other people that
you know how you
gotta not tolerate.
You know how you distinguish the difference? It's the people that you love, because as they say, love is patient. So it's like that's it. You just gotta be patient when you wanna get some water. Bro, guess what? You're done.
I thought so. Felt like it.
It's crazy. Give a shout out. How do people find you if they want to find you, if you want to be found?
Instagram as of right now is the only thing I got is Evan MF Hall, EVAN MFHALL, no spaces, underscores, nothing, just straight across. Yeah, that's it for now. And yeah, I'm just gonna look out on there for videos and stuff, and hopefully we'll get linked up with the right dudes and like get a YouTube video or like a YouTube channel. Well, yeah, for sure, look out for stuff on your channel too. Like if we get a Mr. Panda going back up again, I'll be on it. It's coming hot, dude. I'm telling you, dog. Yeah, I'm excited for that too. I'm excited for that too, dude. I'm excited, man. Dude, we're big stuff, dude. I want to see this thing. Hey, bro, I need to see this. Good, have you? Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. We're clocking out. See you on the next one.
Perfect timing.